Haran Chabet. We are in Chabet where it says we speak about Rabbeinu's character traits. Like we've been speaking a few times already, that there are levels of tzidkut, there are levels of tzaddikim. There's endless levels that a person can reach. The Gemara says that in Masechet Menachot, that this world is domeh to a hay. It's like a hay. Why is it like a hay? Because if you fell out, there's a way to come back in. Not like a chet, if you're out, there's no way back in. You go back in. And the Gemara says over there, we'll just go back the same way, go back up. It says, no, you can't go the same way. And you find many times like that, things where a person was in one path, in one way, and it didn't work out for him, and he has a reputation in that place, and he can't go there. He has to go somewhere else. In Australia, there was one school. It was a Lubavitcher school. And I heard the story that another Rav came and opened another school. But there was not enough boys and not enough money for even one school. What are you opening another school? There's not enough, we don't have enough kids, and you're going to start taking our kids? So he wrote the Lubavitcher Rebbe, he says, there must be another school. Must! But even if it's not enough, and even if it's difficult, you'll figure it out. Why there needs to be another school? Because if there's only one school, and the kid gets kicked out of the only religious school, where's he going to go? There has to be the other school that if the kid didn't work out here, he's going to work out here. If the kid didn't work out here, that school's not good, and this school's good. You know that happens all the time, right? You have people, you have menalim of schools. They shouldn't be upset at each other if a kid left. Not every kid can work out in every place, and that's life. There needs to be a new beginning. A guy who grew up Litvish, he can become Chassid. A guy who grew up who knows what, he can become this. Because if you want to start again, you got to put a reset, and you can't go back to the same place because all the old memories and the stigmas and the reputation start over. That's what the Gemara says. The Gemara is like a hay. So you came in like this, you got to come back a different way. But then the Gemara says, why am I saying this? What does that have to do with our sikha? The Gemara says, but the next word's like a yud. A yud. Because the tzaddikim over there, there's not a lot of tzaddikim. And why is the yud bent over? Because they're a little bit embarrassed, if I remember the Gemara, a little bit like embarrassed of the tzaddik on top of him. That means that yes, you're a tzaddik. And yes, you did. But when you get to Shamayim, you see that somebody did better than you. I could have done better. Yes, you did. The Gemara speaks about a rich man. Kalbua bat Sava? What was the name? Kalba bat Savua. The Gemara says about him that
he was very, very wealthy. He was the father of Khaf.
Okay, so I'm making a mistake. It's Nagdimyon bin Gurion.
He was the one.
He was one of the richest men in the world, in Am Yisrael. He was willing at the time the Cholman Abayit, he had enough wheat stored to be able to allow a siege to withstand a siege of a few years, and he was willing to open up and give food to everybody. When the Gemara says in another place, I think Masechet Ta'anit maybe, it could be Masechet Ketubot, that when he would walk outside, he had so much money that he would walk on a carpet, and it was expensive materials, shmata. And he would leave it there. The rich people would come and pick it up. Everywhere he's walking on shmata, expensive shmata, and the poor people come and pick it up. He gave out so much tzedakah.
Was falling out of his pocket or just giving out like candy?
He was giving out money left and right all the time.
Okay.
You understand? Like imagine he's walking on gold, like a gold material, golden lace material, and whoever wants comes and picks it up after. Poor people were waiting to see him to pick it up. And the Gemara says after the Chol Banabait, Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai saw his daughter in the second Kitin, looking through dung, excrement, trying to take seeds that the kernels that the animal ate and it didn't digest in the system, it comes out in the excrement. And he says, you remember? She says, you know me? He says, according, you know my father? Of course, what happened to all your money? Where's your ketubah? I signed your ketubah. He's the one he married them. He wrote the ketubah. There was millions over there. What happened? He says, why did I lose the money? All that tzedakah I used to do. And the Gemara says, yeah, he did a lot, but he didn't do enough, according to what he could have done. That means that yes, a guy gives $1 million. Once the person came to Rav Chaim Kanevsky, and maybe the numbers I'm off, but he lost, let's say, $400 million. Let's say 10 years ago, 15 years ago. So we want to know, what Avera did he do to lose $400 million? He said, you have $400 million in the bank? That's why you lost it. You're not allowed to keep $400 million in the bank. What are you going to do with it? And back then, maybe 4 million is like 400 billion, I don't know. You know? That means that on a certain level, the Gemara says, don't give more than 20%. Because even more than 20%, you're going to be stuck. You're going to need to take tzedakah. But that's only if you're going to be stuck if you give it 20%. I have a brother-in-law who worked for a man in America. He was giving much more than 20%. And some told me 90% money he was giving.
90%.
90% money he was giving.
By the way, by the Saint Mars,
It's 20 across the board.
No.
More?
That's exactly what David. They live, what they have for themselves represent 10% of the fortune. That means the rest is just tzedakah. Because at the end of the day, how much do we really need to live comfortably and without anything?
A cool million.
Either way,
Not kidding.
Shaul, I don't know if everybody gives 90%. It's a chiddush. To give 90% is azui. But the thing is, if you know that your wealth is given to you for the community, live well. You have an expense account. Live well. Take care of your kids. Buy them. But you know that money doesn't go from generation to generation. It's a galgala chozeh. So even if you plan for eternity, that everybody's going to be set up, it's not going to happen. Things happen. Hashem in 1 second changes a business, changes a fortune. In 1 second takes away a fortune. We've seen it in our own eyes in our community in one day.
You know what your father always tells me? Quand Hashem veut t'aveugler,
That's it.
en l'espace de quelques semaines, un mois, tu peux tout payer.
And when Hashem wants to give you, if even you're going to hide under a rock in Alaska, you're going to get what's coming to you. All I want to say, why am I saying this? That yeah, you're giving tzedakah, but you're giving as much as you could. Yes, you're tzaddik, but are you as tzaddik as you could be? Yes, the Gemara says that the guy was tzaddik his whole life, but he's going to see, one of the tzaddikim said on Rabbeinu, when he was alive, he said like this, "Kanireh shekulanu nitztarech litbayesh mimenu shama." That means that there is a tzaddik, that all the tzaddikim are going to be embarrassed of this tzaddik. And it was Rabbeinu. In other words, we're seeing over here that Rabbeinu had, like we said already the last few days, there's no more difference between man and woman for him. There's no more eating physical food. It's eating the spirituality in the food. Here in Midat HaKas, there's a person who doesn't get upset. He knows how to hold back. He knows how to not answer, which is already a huge level. He knows even if for 1 second it bothered me, but I'm forgiving the guy and I'll even do good to him. You know, there's people like that. You heard them, they're hurt for a second, 1 second later, they're back, then they can even do tovot to you. They can even be kind to you. Forget about not answering and not hurting and not taking revenge. But here, Rabbeinu is saying that he was mitapech. I'm in my book, I'm in where it says, Avan, Tachnit, Shvira Midazo, Me'efech el Efech. So that's where we got to. Let's see, the fourth line in. To completely break anger, even though he was angry. Rabbeinu was angry when he was a kid. He used to get upset. He had the fight. He had esh. You know, some people have esh inside of them. They'll do a lot of good. But they can have also a comment. They can have a fire to answer back. Rabbeinu had that fire to answer back. He had kpedot. Rabbeinu was gingy. Gingy is red. David HaMelech was gingy. David HaMelech was a warrior. Rabbeinu was from David HaMelech. He had that kapdanut inside of him. Pinchas. But he broke it. And to the point, then he got to a place. Aval, tachlit shvirat midazo, me'efech el efech. Dainu litapech letov gamur. He went from to the utmost extremity, the opposite. Shelo yichpat leklal, klal shum davar. Yeh rak tov bli shum tzad kbeda ba'olam. He got to the point where there was not even any reshimu, even iota, even a hairbreadth of any kbeda, there's no good English word to translate this. Kibera means to have any grudge, being bothered, upsetness at all whatsoever.
It's being bothered.
Not being bothered even a second. No kpeda, not makpid at all. Doesn't matter. You can walk on him. You can step on him.
That's true freedom, by the way. That is freedom.
That's freedom, because you're in charge of yourself.
You're holding it.
Right, exactly.
Where did he say zocheh? Ilan, you just came back. Zacha rak beretz Yisrael. Ilan, you heard this? He was zocheh only in Eretz Yisrael. When he got to this level, Sham zacha lezeh, shnitbatel hakas betachlit habitul, v'zacha naseh tov mamash. When he came back from Eretz Yisrael, it was another level. It was completely tov, without any iota of anger at all. V'lo nishar bo shum tzad kbeda ba'alma. Ad shachar kach, afilu misha asa lo kol ra'ot sheba'olam. If a person would harm him, all all the tzarot, all the difficulties, all the harms that could be, lo haya bilibo shum tzad sina. There was no anger, there was no kpida alav against him. Adarabah, haya oavo, v'haya bilibo alav, lo haya bilibo alav klal. He loved him. He had no upsetness against him. Ki haya rak kulo tov mamash. You have a guy, he did to you, he said, listen, I'm not going to do anything, but just please, stand on your side and I'll stand my side, please. Okay? Well, Adkan. Take your road and I'll take my road. Rabbeinu was not like that. Help him, do for him. Everybody knew him, saw this. You know why? כבר מבואר בספר הקדושים תורה, זה דווקא בארץ ישראל זוכים מבחינה זו, שהיא בחינת ערך אפיים. Only in Eretz Yisrael you can get what's called ערך אפיים. ערך אפיים means a deep breath. ערך אפיים means you're going to upset, take a deep breath, breathe in emunah, breathe in, a new beginning. What is you're starting again, start again. That's only in Eretz Yisrael. When I was at Rabbi Sajid's house, Rav Kenning was there once, and they asked him, we see in Eretz Yisrael, it's the opposite. In Canada, it's, they say a joke. How do you get Israelis out of the pool when the pool has to close? They have to call the army. There's nobody's going out of the pool. Until they come the army, nobody's going out. How do you get Canadians out of the pool? You take on the Ramcode, you say, the pool is closed. And everybody leaves the pool. You understand? So how could it be I'm not going to say in Eretz Yisrael it's Erech Apayim. It's the opposite. He says that, and the Rav answered the opposite. That's where you can work on it. That's where you can get it. You need to be challenged to be able to become the master of it. In Eretz Yisrael, you'll have all the opportunities to get upset. You'll have everything. Hashem will test you and test you and test you until you're zocheh to be completely clean. Lo ichpat liklad. That's the emunah. The sea of emunah, the tachlit emunah, the spitz of emunah is only there. So that's where you can get to the point of not being bothered. Here we don't, there's no reason to get angry. Everything's on mem nuchot. Everybody's sleeping over here. So that's why you're not angry. We'll put the same guy in Eretz Yisrael. We can see how he's going to act.
Your terms.
And he was zoiche, hefech kas ha'onaf, ובשביל זה נתהווה משה רבנו לארץ ישראל. כמו שכתוב, אומר משה ויקוד ארצה. דרשו רב זן, מה רע? אפיים רע. That's why it says Moshe Rabbeinu was longing for Eretz Yisrael. The Gemara says, what was he looking for? What did he want there? And he saw Erech Apayim. He saw that place, that level of emunah that you could get to. We have to make it to Eretz Yisrael, Chavirim. We can't think over here is the tachlit. Here we're just picking up nitzutzot here. If we're here, it's not our place. Nobody should think. Meaning, even though we have to do every day as if there's Yetzirah to say, okay, if we're not here, so don't do nothing here. Don't build a shul, don't build a kol. False. The Mishkan, the Lubavitch Rebbe said, would travel for 40 years, and for one day he would set up. We have to set up everything for one day, but tomorrow we have to be ready to go. B'ezrat Hashem. I want to tell you one more story before we go on about Kas.
Stories or joke?
A story. A story about Rav Kenny that I saw with my eyes. I have to start writing these down. But we were once in Uman. And before Uman was today with hotels and with 5-star meals. I remember when we used to go to Uman after Pesach. So we used to go Rosh Hashanah with the Rav. And we used to go after Pesach. In Rosh Hashanah there was already a few thousand people. But during the year there was nobody. There was no minyan. It was empty. Maybe you could get 10 people together. And we used to go day after Pesach with the Rav Kenning 1 week on the Tzion of Rabbeinu. And it was Me'en Olam Haba. It was Gan Eden. It was Chatzot Laila till the nets. After the nets on the Tzion with the Rav Kenning, it was something else. Then the Rav would say a shir, usually Sipuim Masyot. Person would go home, rest, eat something, sleep a few hours, wake up, learn Torah till the afternoon. In the afternoon, they would say every day from 3 to 6 the whole Tillim. The whole thing. Every day b'tzibur. 5, 6, 7 days straight. And then Mincha Arvit, another shir, Mincha, Shiur, Arvit, go back to sleep and again and again. I remember once, one of the years, when I forgot that there's another world. It was so holy, it's like you feel like... in a bubble. When I remembered that we have to go back to Montreal, back to regular life, I was so pained. I was in shock that we have to go back to it. Anyways, over the years, Uman started to become a Ir Miklat. Ir Miklat means there was something new that they termed. It's called Pitzuei Anachan. Rest of it, there's the Nachan Novea Mekor Chokmah is Rabbeinu. So they called these guys Pitzuei Anachan. Pitzuei is like the injured rest of us, meaning guys, not finding themselves in yeshivot and here and there, not so easy,
So they go to Breslov.
and so they find that they run to Uman and they live in Uman. Some live in the Tzion, some live over here, and we're not taking the hospital. You don't ask anything about the patients. Let everybody come, let them do what they want. When you go to Uman, don't judge anybody. Don't talk about anybody. There's a doctor over here. He's taking care of the patients the way he wants to take care of them. So that's for sure. We're not judging anyone. But sometimes you have some people over there with pasts and histories and certain midot which they have to get to the Erech HaPayim. B'kitzur. So we were there, and there started to be a few guys like this turning around.
Avi was with you, right?
Who?
Avi Biden was with you.
It could be it was there. It could be. So what happened? So there's the Tzion. I saw that they're going to make renovations in the Tzion. I still remember the Tzion before these renovations. But now they already did one of them. They're going to make a new one. But right now, how it is now, there's outside, pretty big, a few hundred people, 1,000 people maybe can be over there, maybe 2,000. And then there's inside.
Is that what, Pesach time or?
After Pesach, it was empty,
Okay.
usually. And then the inside, and all the years would be on the inside. And the Rabbi gives you on the inside. It's a little bit cold after Pesach still. There's like a little shul. It used to be a house, a Goyish house. The Goyish lady used to live in that house. And so the Rav, and the whole Kila, we're talking about 80 people. Hasidim, Uvdei Hashem. And they're there inside. The Rav gives you years.
Okay.
So then these guys start to come, live there. Fine, no problem. So we share the space. So then one time the Rav is giving the shir between Chavit, and one of these guys, like Bedavka, he wants to say Tikkun Klali loud.
They want to instigate.
He wants to instigate. Because also they misunderstood something. Rabbi Natan was not a Rebbe. He was a Chaver, but a Tzaddik and a Manig. But he didn't take over Admurut. And that means that a new Rebbe can change the Chassidut. That Rebbe said like this: if you're a Talmid, even if you're a Tzaddik, you don't change. The recipe is the same recipe, the book's the same book, the derech is the same book. We're not going to pray at 9:30 or 10. We're going to pray at Netz. We're going to pray at Duchatzon Netz. It doesn't matter what's going to happen afterwards. We're following the same way. So Rabbi Nassim was Tzaddik Ador, Gaon, but a Talmid. So some people misinterpret that word to say, there's no Rabbanim in Breslov. There's only Talmidim, Kunanu Talmidim, Kunanu, and Rabbanim. It's just false. Because there's, Rabbeinu said, don't deviate from halakha. And the halakha says a whole simanim of kavod rav. And obviously, we're not here to uproot the Torah. And that's people that sometimes Bal Tshuva, Shloshim, Sukkot, so come, anyways, shtuyot. So a group of people a little bit like this. Of course, we're not instigating, we mechabed everybody. But they were instigating. So they start to say he starts saying Tikkun Klali loud on the Tzion. B'dafka. But there's another 10 places you could say the Tikkun Klali. You have to say here on the Shir, go over here, there's another room over here, there's another place. No, he wants to say here to bother Shir. Now, there's some Bal Shuvah in the Kilav Rav Kenning, some heavy guys, some... you don't want to see them. You don't want to see them in the mikveh, the bikitza.
Okay.
In the mikveh, the tattoos, you can understand where they were. So they start to stand up. We're going to take care of the situation. We're going to take care of the situation. So the Rav sees them. They look at the Rav like, Rav, we take care of this. The Rav said like this: sit, nobody move. The Rav continued to share like nothing, even though it's bothering. Wait, okay, this is something that I've never seen this in my life ever. What I'm going to tell you now. Then, one of the guys couldn't hold back. He told the other guy, shh. One of the Hasidim Rav Kenning told the guy, shh. So the guy heard the shh. So he left. So then 3 minutes later, who does he come back? With the head of the mafia. He comes with the Rosh Mafiosos from his group. He comes in with a bat. Bam, he opens the door of the Tzion. On the Kerem Rabbeinu. He comes in. Mi omer lanu shh. Who tells us shh? And he hits. And he goes, Ani, you don't know who I am. And I'm a killer. And only Rabbeinu holds me back. And me, ואף אחד לא יגיד לנו. And you're not going to take over the place over here, אתם לא תשלטו על מקום. וזה לא המקום שלכם. ואני רצחן. ומי אמר את זה? ומי יגיד את זה? And everybody looked like, no.
We're not playing with this
So the big guys, they look at the Rav. The Rav's just like this. And the guy's screaming, and the Rav's with the book, he's learning Likutei Moharan. He's like this. And the Rav's on pause. And you know how the Rav would talk. So then the guy, how long can you scream if nobody answers you? If you fuel for the fire, if you answer back, you give him fuel. But if nobody answers, like we're saying now, so the guy stopped. As soon as the guy stopped, so imagine, the guy's with a bat over there. He's there. There's a few thugs there, and they're in back of Rav Kenny. He didn't even look. It's like where I'm sitting here, and the guy's in back of him. He didn't look. And as soon as he finished, the Rav continues. וזה בחינת מה שאומר רבנו. ואפשר להסביר את זה ככה וככה. He's back in the shear like nothing. When the thug saw that the Rav went back in the shear, he got even more upset. What, you're not going to answer? Give me something? Yeah. And then the guy said, and he starts to insult the Rav. And he's coming close to the Rav.
Oh my God.
אני רוצח אנשים, רבנים.
You are the pound of flesh.
And he's starting to insult the Rav. And the Rav is on pause. The guy stops. And the guy again, he stops 2 minutes and he goes crazy. And what happened was, the guy ran out of fuel. He didn't hit the Rav. Baruch Hashem, we didn't know if he was going to hit the Rav. But the guy stopped. They left. How much can you... Okay. The Rav continued the whole shir. He didn't say a word about it. By the way, not only didn't say a word about it, even if you don't say, if somebody would be doing this to you, your heart would be beating. He's in back of you, he has a bat, he's yelling at you, and your heart would be beating. The tone of voice didn't change. No stress in the voice. Not one iota of anger. Zero. Not normal. Another half an hour, the Rav finishes shir, and at the end he says, Rabbeinu na'amar shenavod kivro. Rabbeinu said we have to come. Rabbeinu said shenidmar ad kivro. And there is limud prati, and there's limud b'tzibur. As what we're doing is not asur. Yesh הרבה מקומות פה. אנחנו מקיימים רצון הצדיק, ואף אחד לא יחשוב אחרת. That's it. That the Rav didn't talk about him, just addressed, are we doing something wrong and are we not doing anything wrong? Then we walk back with the Rav to the apartment. And we're waiting for the Rav to say something. He doesn't even talk about it. He continues speaking about the Rav. Then there was one guy over there, one of the guys, he said, Rav, what happened over there? What was that? And then the Rav said, he goes, if you see them tomorrow, be nice to them, tell them hi, be like nothing happened. Be like nothing. And then he said, אבל זה היה משהו, לא? זה היה משהו. And the Rav walked in the house, he never spoke about it again. I saw on that level of, he held it. The Rav, he had a lung transplant. And they had to, before the operation, take his blood pressure. So the nurse took the blood pressure, and she realized the machine was broken. She testified after. Then she brought a new machine, and it was broken. So she saw a third machine, and the third machine is also broken. Then she started to realize, the machines are not broken. It's just he has no stress. The blood pressure is complete. His heart is not beating at all. He's completely calm. And every time before they do such operations, the people are so nervous that she thought the machine was broken. The level of emunah that he had, that you can get to no anger, it's something that you have to see it. No heart beating, not one tone of nervousness in the voice. The same Yeshuv Adat. שנזכה להגיע לזה, אמן.